What's up, guys? This is Ross Corbett again from NorCal Fish Whisperers, and today we're going to be going over the basics on halibut trolling. It's real easy, real simple. Once you get it down, it definitely helps increasing your fish catching ratio out there. And halibut, it's a blast to fish for. I've been fishing halibut for years in Tomales Bay, South Bay, Berkeley Flats, San Pablo. It's a fun time, and they taste delicious too. So let's go over a few things. If you got any questions at the end, feel free to leave your comments below and questions below, and I'll get back to you. But first off, what I like to do is I like to run a three-way setup, okay, for my halibut trolling rig. This right here, this is going to be a splitter. As you can see, it's a three-way splitter bar, and one side, this side attached to the weight, you got about a two and a half foot, 3 foot leader that goes down to your weight. Some people like 1.5 feet. I prefer 2.5 feet. And the line here is going to be less pound test. So I prefer to run about 20 to 25 pound test on my weight line. And that is just in case I get snagged up. It breaks the weight off instead of my whole rig. So at least I have my splitter bar, my Dodger, and my Hoochie left. And I just have lost the weight. Okay. Up here on the other end, on the lure side, it goes back about 3.5 feet, and I like to run 60-pound test fluoro clear from P-line to my Dodger. I prefer a medium-sized Dodger. It's really up to you on what size Dodger you want to use. I prefer the medium size. The small Dodgers work the best. It keeps the bait just perfectly off the bottom. And the thing about running a Dodger, especially when you're trolling, is you want to make sure that your speed is correct. Once you get past a certain speed, this Dodger will spin, and you do not want that. It'll tangle up your line. It takes the action away from the bait. I have found that 2.5, 3 miles an hour is 3 miles an hour is max when you're trolling for halibut. If you're going against the tide, you might want to tone it down a little bit to 2 miles an hour to 2.5 miles an hour. You do not want this Dodger spinning around in a circle. What you want this Dodger doing, and you want to check your bait when you put it in the water, is you want it dodging back and forth. And what that does is, back here, you got about 6 to 8 inches of line where I put my Hoochie, and that Hoochie back here will dodge back and forth, okay? And it looks great. It looks killer. What I like to do is I like to put a barrel swivel there just to prevent that Hoochie from going back. And about 4 inches from that, I got a 5/0 Gamakatsu, just a regular octopus hook. And right here, I tied it with a sliding snell knot. And this is important because if you're going to be doing different baits, if you're going to be fishing herring or anchovies, these baits will vary in sizes, okay? Behind the bait, I got my stinger hook, and it's a red treble Gamakatsu. And this thing, I believe, is crucial. A lot of the times, halibut are sitting on the bottom. They're waiting for that bait, and as soon as that bait comes by, they'll jump at it and they'll grab it, but they'll only be hitting the back end of the tail. A lot of times, you'll see these, what they call scuffed up baits or grazed baits. It's those halibut nipping at the back. So this back stinger hook, this is crucial, okay? And I have definitely caught a lot more fish when I moved to this type of rig. But as soon as you put your anchovy on, anchovy or herring, I prefer herring. It's up to you if you run anchovies or herring. Herring are a little bit bigger. You know, I do go back and forth between the two. But I do like the bigger baits just because I think they catch bigger fish. So you're going to hook up your anchovy or your herring. Put the head or put the nose of the herring or anchovy right on the end of that hook. And then for your trailer hook, I at least put one end of the trailer inside the tail, and I take a small rubber band and I'll put it over the tail to hold that trailer in place. Okay, I don't want this trailer popping out and fluttering around. It's meant to be back on that tail of that anchovy or herring, just so in case that halibut hits and hooks up. Okay, pretty much it's basic. When you hook into a halibut, usually you've got about 2 or 3 more halibut that are in the same area, if not more. I've been around, I've made circles around, I've caught 5 or 6 halibut within 50 yards of each other. So these fish, as you might not think so, but they are schooling fish. They do like to be around each other, especially in the Berkeley Flats and Alameda area and South Bay. They are breeding, they're schooling up together. It's when you find a pocket of fish, you want to be on it. When I'm trolling, I'm usually trolling about 15 to 25 foot of water. The depths will vary depending on the tides, but it's and the tides that I'm looking out for aren't major tides. Okay, these are not sturgeon. They don't like big tides. They don't like the big influx and outflux of water. These fish like small tides. The best days that I have found to catch big fish and to catch a lot of fish are on small tide days. Okay, you know, go ahead, buy a tide book, whatever you have to do. Or check out tidesforfishing.com. That's a great website. It can show you a lot of different tides, and you can see, you know, the fluctuation of the tides and when the best time to go out would be. You know, I've caught fish on big tides too. I'm not saying that you can't, but I have found that the smaller tides produce more fish. Pretty simple, basic rig, easy to troll. Like I said, troll 2.5 miles an hour. Try not to go over 3. You really want to put that bait in the water and look at that bait. If your dodger is spinning around in circles, it's not productive at all, and it tangles your line up, and it is a pain in the butt to get it off or to untangle. So check your bait out first in the water. Make sure you got some nice fresh bait. Stinky old bait, you know, I believe just a fresh, clean looking bait is the best way to go. So like I said in the beginning, if you got any questions at all, go ahead and leave your questions and comments below. Again, thank you guys for joining me, and we'll be back next time.